Hi, welcome to Sabbath School Daily, where we have been studying from this lesson right here, God's Mission, My Mission. Today, we're studying from lesson number 6, which has the title, Motivation and Preparation for Mission, and today is Tuesday's lesson, which has the title, Waiting and Mission. Today's lesson gives us a scope of what happened after Jesus ascended up to heaven. We see that at the end of Luke chapter 24, he leaves the disciples with what the lesson says, a mission, a promise, and immediate instructions to wait in Jerusalem for power from on high. So what we see in the continuation of the story in the book of Acts is that they follow Jesus' instructions, but they don't just do nothing. They don't just stay there doing nothing. They prepare for what's happening next in two specific ways. The first one, the lesson instructs us, is first, Luke says they continued in united prayer and supplication. There was no question in any of their minds about what the mission was that Jesus had given them, and they had each accepted that mission. This inspired them to unite in prayer. Luke does not share what they were praying about, but it's most certain that they were praying for wisdom, strength, and courage to fulfill the mission together. What an example for us. And so here we find the importance of prayer. As we prepare for what the Lord has in store for us, and look, friends, regardless of where God's mission for us may lead, we always have to pray, be that before, during, and after. Prayer is the catalyst that makes any mission possible. It's what connects us to God. Here we see the disciples praying, and that prayer resulted in the Holy Spirit being poured down upon them as tongues of fire, and then they went on to do what God had instructed them to do. So, number one, pray. Pray always. As the Apostle Paul tells us, pray without ceasing. We always have to be in prayer, always connected up to heaven. To the Christian, prayer is like breathing. It's the constant in and out of communication with God, always in touch, always in His will. So again, pray. The second one appears here in the second last paragraph of today's lesson, which is the second thing they did while they waited was to prepare logistically for their mission. Judas had handed Jesus over for execution and then taken his own life. This had left a vacancy among the 12. So, as they waited, the disciples sought God's guidance and selected a replacement. In effect, the disciples were organizing themselves and planning the start of their mission. In the making of these decisions, Peter played a leadership role. No one challenged his move. They all saw God's wisdom in it. There was an understanding and a trust that God was acting and working and moving in their midst. Their time of waiting was not idle, but was filled with purpose and mission-driven action. So many times we think that before God gives us a sign or before the Lord tells us what we have to do in a miraculous way, we don't really have that much to do. Friends, the wait, the preparation is part of the mission. Prayer and preparation, logistical, strategically, we have to take these things into account. And so as you await the next steps, prepare for that. Be that through prayer or by preparing financially, seeking help, seeking funding, seeking people that can sponsor your trip, going to wherever you're going or coming back or surviving there. All of these things have to do with the mission itself. And so don't just stay idle, because here's the essence of the whole matter. Those who are faithful in the little will be faithful in the much as well. And so the Lord recognizes that. As we prepare, as we see what we need, as we prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as we speak to others who have more experience than us, seek wisdom and counseling from them, all of these things have to do with how well or how our mission is going to go after. So prepare that way. Remember that it's important to stay motivated. Prayer does that as well. Through prayer, we maintain ourselves motivated for what the Lord has in store for us. And also, when we prepare in the more logistical and the more down-to-earth, day-to-day aspects, that helps us go with a bigger foundation, with a better foundation. You'll see that the apostles in the New Testament, they are constantly doing that. They rely on the Lord, but they also do their best to help their mission have whatever success it's going to have with whatever they can offer for it as well. So remember those two tips, prayer and preparation. I hope that today's lesson inspires you to take action in the practical day-to-day aspects of mission. Please read your lesson. There's a lot in here regarding these two elements that are very precise. Read the text that's mentioned, specifically Acts chapter 1, verse 12 through 26, that have to do with what the disciples did after Jesus ascended. That's going to give you a better idea of what they did and help implement that in your own life. Also, comment down below with any questions or any comments. I'd love to interact with you. And please remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to our videos. We release one every day. And I hope to see you again here tomorrow for another Sabbath School Daily.